হাই সেকেন্ডাৰী সেকেন্ড ইয়াৰৰ CMST পাঠ্যক্ৰমৰ ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকলক আমি পুনৰবাৰ এই ক্লাছলৈ স্বাগতম জনাইছো আমি ইয়াৰ আগৰ যি শ্ৰেণী আছিল সেই শ্ৰেণীত আমি Arithmetic mean, median আৰু মোডৰ অংক কেনেকৈ কৰিবলৈ লাগে আৰম্ভ কৰিছিলো আৰু ছাত্ৰ ছাত্ৰীসকলক মই অনুৰোধ জনাইছিলো এটা অংক নিজে চেষ্টা কৰাৰ বাবে আজি সেই অংকটো কি দৰেনো কৰিব লাগে তাৰে আমি এই শ্ৰেণীটো আৰম্ভ কৰিব বিচাৰিছো অংকটোৰ ডেটাখিনি এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ আছিল আমি এটা discrete frequency distributionৰ অংক লৈছিলো য'ত x আৰু f ৰ কিছু মান দিয়া আছিল x আৰু f দিয়া আছিল x বোৰ আছিল 10 20 30 40 আৰু 50 আৰু f বোৰ দিয়া আছিল 2 4 13 7 আৰু 9 আৰু এই সিৰিজটোৰ বাবে আমি কি দৰে arithmetic mean median আৰু mode নিৰূপণ কৰিব পাৰি সেই বিষয়ে আমি আলোচনা আৰম্ভ কৰিছিলো আৰু বহুলক অৰ্থাৎ mode কি দৰে উলিয়াব লাগে আমি অলৰেডি এই কথা ডিসকাস কৰি থৈছিলো যে যেহেতু highest frequency হল 13 corresponding to the value x equal to 30 so a data series tour ami mode to kosilu 30 buli iman khini ami jua classot discuss kora hoi gosile next ami kosilu je arithmetic mean ki dore ami nirupon korim ami itimodhe janu je arithmetic mean uliabor bar babe amar তিনি ধৰণৰ ব্যৱস্থা আছে এটা হল ডাইৰেক্ট মেথড এটা হল assume mean মেথড এটা হল step deviation মেথড আমি তিনিটা মেথডত টেবল খনৰ স্বৰূপটো কেনেকুৱা হ'ব আমি সেই বিষয়ে ডিসকাস কৰিম আৰু লগতে মিডিয়ান উলিয়াব কাৰণে টেবল খন বনাওঁতে আমাৰ কি কি প্ৰয়োজন হ'ব পাৰে এক্সট্ৰা কলামছ ইন দ্য টেবল what would be required হেখিনি আমি একেলগতে শিকিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিম এতিয়া বাই ডাইৰেক্ট মেথড যেতিয়া আমি কৰো ডাইৰেক্ট মেথড ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিলে arithmetic meanৰ ফৰ্মুলাটো হ'ল x bar is equal to 1 by capital N summation fx where n is equal to summation f এই ফৰ্মুলাটো সদায় আগতে লিখি লোৱাটো খুব প্ৰয়োজন তাৰ পিছত আমি জানিম যে এই ফৰ্মুলাটোক চাই টেবলখনত আমাৰ কি কি দৰকাৰ হয় লগতে যেহেতু আমি মিডিয়ানৰ কথাও কৈছো যে আমি মিডিয়ান কেনেকৈ উলিয়াই এই অংকটোৰ পৰা বা এই ডেটাখিনিৰ পৰা আমি শিকিবলৈ চেষ্টা কৰিম সেই গতিকে আমি কি কৰিম মিডিয়ানৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আমি জানো যে কিউমুলেটিভ ফ্ৰিকুৱেন্সি নিৰূপণ কৰাটো অতি প্ৰয়োজনীয় সেই গতিকে এখন টেবলতে আমি মিডিয়ানৰ কাৰণে কিউমুলেটিভ ফ্ৰিকুৱেন্সি খিনিও উলিয়াই লম আৰু টেবলখন বনোৱাৰ আগতে সদায় আমি এটা বাক্য লিখিম যে এখিনতে আমি এক টেবলখন বা তালিকাখন বনাম বা we now make the following table for calculation বুলি কৈ আমি আমাৰ দিয়া যিখিনি ডেটা আছে হেখিনিৰ কাৰণে আমি টেবল বনাম x আৰু f আমাক দিয়া আছে আমাক লাগিব fx আৰু n অৰ্থাৎ আমি n টো আমাৰ কোট উলাব তলত উলাব টোটাল কলামত আমাৰ n টো আমি উলিয়াম এখিনতে আমি যেহেতু ডাইৰেক্ট মেথড ইউজ কৰিছো আমাক fx কলামটো লাগিব আৰু মিডিয়ানৰ কাৰণে যদি অকল arithmetic meanৰ অংক হয় এই তিনটা কলমৰে আমাৰ টেবলখন সম্পূৰ্ণ হ'ব কিন্তু যেহেতু আমি মিডিয়ান উলিয়াব গৈ আছো লগতে আমি কিউমুলেটিভ ফ্ৰিকুৱেন্সি খিনিও ক্যালকুলেট কৰিম এতিয়া x ৰ ভ্যালু আৰু f ৰ ভ্যালু খিনি আমি প্ৰথমতে ইয়াত লিখি লম 10 20 30 40 50 আৰু লগতে আমি f ৰ ভ্যালু খিনি লিখিম 2 4 13 7 আৰু 9 next আমাৰ fx উলিয়াবলে লাগে আমি fx উলিয়াম তাৰ মানে প্ৰত্যেকটা f আৰু x ৰ multiplication so this is 10 into 20 which will give a 10 into 2 is 20 20 into 4 is 80 30 into 13 will be 300 19 40 into 7 is 280 and 50 into 9 is 450 all right. The next column is the cumulative frequency column which is required only while calculating median. For mean it is not required but we are making a single table so as to save time. Alright. So how to calculate cumulative frequencies? The first cumulative frequency will be 2 itself. The second cumulative frequency is 2 plus 4 which will be 6. The next cumulative frequency is 6 plus 13 which will be 19. Then it is 19 plus 7 which is 20. 19 plus 7 is 26 and then 26 plus 9 is 35. Alright. So if you add up the frequencies also you will get 35. Alright. And then you find the total for the fx column. If we add this we will get 1220. You please add up and check. Alright. Now once these values are obtained you just put these values from the table into the formula. Therefore equation 1 implies x bar is equal to 1 by 35 into 1220. So this is just a division which will give you 34.86. Okay. And one thing here is very important. You have to check into the type of data given to you. If the data does not mention any units, so in your arithmetic mean you will write this much units. If it is given in rupees you will write in rupees. If it is given as marks you will write marks. Mentioning of units is very important while calculating all measures of central tendency. All right. So this is how you calculate arithmetic mean using the direct method. All right. We shall now go to the calculation of mode. And with the same sum, with the same data, we shall also do the other two methods of calculation of arithmetic mean, that is assume mean method and step deviation method. But before going to that, let us calculate median now. মধ্যমানো কি ধৰে আমি উলিয়াব পাৰিম এনেকুৱা এটা data set পৰা. Let us see how. Okay. For calculation of median, what we do is, I had already discussed earlier, আমি প্ৰথমতে n by 2 উলিয়াম. Total frequency divided by 2. n হল আমাৰ 35 divided by 2 will give us 17.5. All right. Now, cumulative frequency just greater than n by 2, that is 17.5, is, yes, you look into the table, which is the cumulative frequency just greater than 17.5, it is 19. Yes, is 19 corresponding to which value of x? Corresponding to x equal to 30. All right. Therefore, median is equal to 30 again. units. We have to mention units. Similarly, for mode also, mode was 13. You should write x mode equal to 30 units. So this is how you calculate median in case of a discrete frequency distribution. I think it is clear. Now, you see, while calculating arithmetic mean using the direct method, আমি ডাইৰেক্ট মেথডেৰে যেতিয়া ক্যালকুলেট কৰিছিলো পৰীক্ষাত কি হয় এনেকুৱা ধৰণৰ ডাঙৰ মাল্টিপ্লিকেশন বা এডিশনত we will be using some more time. So in that case, we can make use of two other methods which we have already learned. That is, use the first method which is known as the assumed mean method. All right. Assumed mean method ব্যৱহাৰ কৰিলে কি হ'ব আমাৰ ক্যালকুলেশনটো অলপ সৰু হৈ যাব আৰু কেনে ধৰণে সৰু হ'ব তোমালকে চাই লোৱা assumed mean methodত meanৰ ফৰ্মুলা আছিলে x bar is equal to a plus 1 by n summation f d. Yes, where n is summation f we already know, and what is d? D is equal to x minus a, and what is a? A is the assumed mean. We shall assume a mean here and then proceed. All right. So what we do is, let us remove these columns, whatever is not required. When you make use of the assumed mean method, what we have to do is, these two columns you already have it from your data set. And why I always suggest that you should write the formula first, because that will help you in knowing what are the columns you require. All right. So now here, instead of finding fx, unlike direct method, we shall have to find fd. So before finding fd, we have to find out d, that is x minus a. All right. And then we have to find out f into d. Okay. So you will be able to see it yourself how your calculation will become easier than in case of direct method. But remember, when you make use of assumed mean method, you have to mention on top of your table what is the value of a you have considered. All right. Now, before calculating d, we have to know what is a. Ami a to ki dore lo, ami a x bilak sum. All right. So how many values of x are given to us? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pasta value ase. Ami major value tuk a buli lom. মাজৰ ভ্যালু অৰ্থাৎ ইয়াতে 32 মাজত আছে ওপৰত দুটা আছে তলত দুটা আছে so 30 may be considered to be the assumed mean. That is, when you had odd number of items, if you have odd number of observations, তেতিয়াহলে মাজত থাকা ভ্যালুটো x or ভ্যালুটো আমি assumed mean হিসাবে লম যদি আমাৰ even number of items থাকে তেতিয়াহলে কি হ'ব দুটা ভ্যালু থাকিব মাজত সাপোজিং ইয়াতে আমাৰ 60 এটা ভ্যালু আছে তেতিয়াহলে আমাৰ 30 আৰু 40 দুটা ভ্যালু মাজত থাকিব তেতিয়া either 30 or 40 30 বা 40 কামি তেতিয়া যি কোনো এটা কামি a হিসাবে লব পাৰো. That is, if you have even number of observations, you will have two items in the middle, two values of x in the middle. You can take either of them as a. Okay, so in this sum we will take a to be equal to 30. Now you see what is x minus a. 10 minus 30 will give you minus 20. 20 minus 30 will give you minus 10. 30 minus 30 is 0. Then 40 minus 30 will be 10, and then 50 minus 30 will be 20. All right. In the sum, nowhere you need summation d, so we will not calculate summation d, but you see summation d is 0. Whenever summation d is 0, you know that this is the easiest calculation ever you can have for this particular sum by taking a equal to 30. Now we will calculate fd, alright, that is f into d. So 2 into minus 20 is minus 40, 4 into minus 10 is again minus 40, 13 into 0 is 0, 7 into 10 is 70, and 20 into 9 is 180. Alright, so if you add the positive values, this comes to 250. This is your rough work. From 250, you subtract 80. Alright, so this is my summation fd. So 250 minus 80 will give you 170. Okay, now we shall, supposing this is my equation, say 2. Alright, now from equation 2, we have x bar is equal to a, that is 30, plus 1 by 35 into 170. Alright, so you do the calculation and see how much you get. Or if you want to make it smaller, this is 5 sevens are, this is 5 threes are 15, 1670, so 5 fours are 20. So you have 30 plus 34 by 7. So this will give us 30 plus 4 sevens are 28. Alright, so 4 times. So again you have 6 remaining. So 60, 7 8s are 56, again 40, 7 5s are 35. So it will carry on like this. So it is around 34.85 units. Same value as the one which you got for direct mean method. Alright. So this is how you see calculations have become easier, somewhat easier than in case of direct method. We can make the calculations all the more easier. Yatkyo hohos calculation ami pabole paru aru ki dorne pam if you make use of the step deviation method. You just check out how it becomes easier. Then assume mean method also. So we shall make use of the other method than the direct method, that is method number 2, that is step deviation method. In step deviation method, the formula for finding mean is x bar is equal to a plus 1 by n summation f d dash multiplied by I. Alright, where n is equal to summation f d dash is equal to x minus a by I, and a is the assumed mean. So we shall mark this equation as equation 3. Now you look into the table. See, in the table we have an item known as d dash. Alright, so to find d dash, we already have d, which is x minus a. We can find out the d dash column, which is nothing but d by I, actually, d by I being the width of the, that is the differences between the various values given to us of x. And then we have to find another column which is f times d dash. All right. So this is nothing but d by I. Okay. So just like our previous sum, we already know a is 30. We have to write what is I. Yes, differences between the different values given to us for x. The difference here is 10. Same for all the values. So I is 10. Okay. So now you see this is minus 20 divided by 10 will give us minus 2. Minus 10 divided by 10 is minus 1. Then again 0 divided by 10 will be 0. 10 divided by 10 is 1. And then 20 divided by 10 is 2. All right. And after that we shall find f d dash. F times d dash. So 2 into minus 2 is minus 4. 4 into minus 1 is minus 4. This will be 0. Then it is 7 into 1 is 7 and 9 into 2 is 18. All right. So here we have to find the total for the f d dash column, which is denoted by f d dash. So you see this is 18 plus 7, which is 25. Then 25 minus 4, again minus 4, that is 25 minus 4 will be 21, and again 21 minus 4 will be 17. Okay. And then we shall put this value over here. Therefore, equation 3 implies arithmetic mean x bar is equal to a, that is 30 plus 1 by 35 into 17 whole thing multiplied by I is 10. All right. So this is equal to 30 plus 4.85. This is 34.85 units. Remember, here it is 85. In the other method it was 86. It is a direct method because this is a recurring number. Here you will get something which by approximation this will become 6. So it is 85 or 86, whatever. But you will see that whatever method you use for calculating arithmetic mean, the value will remain the same. And I think you will all admit that calculations become easier in case of assumed mean method and in case of step deviation method. All right. So this is how you calculate mean by direct method, by step deviation method, and by assumed mean method. We also learnt about calculation of median in case of discrete frequency distribution. The next kind of problem that you might be given in your exam, or that is what is there in your course, is sums from continuous or grouped frequency distribution. That is when a class interval is given to you along with respective frequencies, and how will you find out the value of arithmetic mean, median and mode for such type of data set. Okay, the question is like this: the following table gives the marks of 100 students, gives the marks of 100 students. Calculate arithmetic mean, median and mode. So first of all, you look into the data set. What type of data set is given? Class intervals are given. The class intervals are marked as marks because we are talking about marks. So first of all, in the question it is given as marks. Later on we will write it as class intervals. So marks are given as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. And the number of students are given to us. Okay, the number of students are given as 14, 23, 27, 21 and 15. That is, these are the frequencies given to us. In this category there are 14 students, in this category of marks there are 23 students, and so on. So by looking into the data set, we know that this is a different kind of data set than the previous one. Here we have a class interval given to us. It is a case of grouped frequency distribution. So for group frequency distribution, first of all we should know the formula we are going to use. Yes, so since we know that assume mean method and step deviation method makes our calculations easier, so directly we are going to make use of the step deviation method. So first we will write down the formula for step deviation method of finding mean. By step deviation method, we write down the formula. As we already know, this is x bar is equal to a plus 1 by n summation f d dash multiplied by I. You already know the notations. I am not going to repeat the notations. This is equation number 1. Then median, formula for median is L plus n by 2 minus Cf by f into h with usual notations. Yes, L being the lower limit of the median class, n being the total frequency, Cf being the cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class, f being the frequency of the median class, and h being the weight of the median class. And for mode, the formula is, supposing here we have written L, so let us write L dash plus Fm minus Fm minus 1 by twice Fm minus Fm minus 1 minus Fm plus 1 into, say, again, yeah, instead of using the same notation, I am writing H dash, where L dash and H dash are the lower limit and the weight of the model class respectively, Fm being the frequency of the model class, Fm minus 1 being the frequency of the class preceding the model class, and Fm plus 1 being the frequency of the class succeeding the median class. So writing down this formulae is very, very important before going for calculation, or rather before constructing the table. Table bonwar agot ami hoday ki korim ei formula keta likhi lom jate ami table ot namak ki proyojon hobo formula pora ami gom pam. Tar pisod ahile construction of the table. So by looking into the data set, we will construct the table as follows. First is class interval. That means now we are no more going to write it as marks as given in the sum, but we shall write as class interval. We will not write as number of students, but we will write it as frequency, F. All right. Okay. So this is given 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50. Okay, the frequencies given are 14, 23, 27, 21 and 15. So this is the total row where we will find capital N And now we have to think it step by step for the different measures that we are going to calculate. First is arithmetic mean. Since we have made use of the step deviation method, we have to find, first of all, we will find the mid values. See, this is a group frequency distribution. X is not given to us discretely. So our first work will be to find the mid values of the classes, which will be denoted by X, before going for the other notations. So what will be X? X is upper limit plus lower limit divided by 2. So 10 plus 0 divided by 2 will be 5. Next is 30 divided by 2 is 15, and you continue in this way. Okay. Now you see, had we made use of the direct method, we should have to find the fx column. And you see, calculation would be rather very tedious. Huge calculations would be required. So we have already decided that we shall make use of the step deviation method. So here we have to find out d dash, which is x minus a by I. You can make two columns, or you can be very convenient with one column, d dash. You may write d and d dash separately, or just d dash, which is x minus a by I, and then you will have the f d dash column. All right. On top of the table, you have to mention what is a and what is I. Okay. So this is what is required for calculation of arithmetic mean for the formula number 1. Next, for median, we know that the extra column required is the cumulative frequency column. Tar bahire amak eku nalage, so cumulative frequency column to karne ami toyar kori tholu column eta, aru modor karne amak kuno extra column dorkar nai. So these are the columns that you will require for doing this particular sum. All right. And please see, dear students, that you have a proper bounded table, not open on all the sides, drawn with pencil properly using a ruler. All right. Please see that you are very clean and tidy when you draw your. You should have a very clean and tidy table. All right. So now you see, to find d dash, we shall again make use of the same procedure, where a will be the middle value. Here also you have got 5 classes, so we will consider the middle value of x, middle value of the mid value. So this will be 25, and I is the width of the classes. Width is 10, so this will be 10. Calculation will all be same. All right, you find out all the d dash. Yes, I'll just show you 2. So this is x minus a. X here is 5. A is 25. So 5 minus 25 will be minus 20 divided by 10 is minus 2. This will be minus 1. This is 0. This is 1. This is 2. All right. Then you find out f d dash for each of this. 14 into minus 2 is minus 28. 23 into minus 1 is minus 23. This is 0, this is 21, and this is 30. Here you shall find f d dash. The total for f d dash, you divide by n, multiply by I, add it to a, you will get the required mean. You will get the required mean by putting these values, and n here is how much? You find out the total for n, it is 100. It is already mentioned in the question that the data gives marks of 100 students. We already know it is 100. All right. So this is about mean. Then for median, we need the cumulative frequency column. So let us fill it up. So first frequency given is 14. So 14 plus 23 will be 37. 37 plus 27 is 64. 64 plus 21 is 85, and 85 plus 15 is 100. So this is nothing but n. Yes? So our calculation of cumulative frequency is correct. So since we have already shown how to calculate arithmetic mean using step deviation method, I am not doing the sum again. You will get some value x bar which you will write as marks, because marks are given. Your unit will be marks, some marks. Alright, but median and mode we shall discuss in details. Now comes calculation of median. Before using the formula, it is important that you know as to what could be the median class. Finding the median class is important. Alright, the technique here will be the same. আমি যে ধৰণে discrete frequency distribution or ক্ষেত্ৰত কৰিছিলো ঠিক একেই ধৰণে আমি আগবাঢ়িম। Here আমাৰ কি প্ৰয়োজন হ'ব n by 2, n আমাৰ 100 দিয়া আছে, divided by 2 is 50. Alright, now cumulative frequency just greater than n by 2 or 50 is, you look into the table now, 50 ke just dangor cumulative frequency to kiman? This is 64, and it corresponds to which class? 20 to 30. Yes, is 64 corresponding to the class interval 20 to 30. Therefore, median class is equal to 20 to 30. This is very, very important. Unless and until you find the median class, যেতিয়ালৈকে তোমালোকে median class to উলিয়াই নোলোৱা, আমি median or formula use কৰিবলৈ নোৱাৰো। এতিয়া median class উলিওৱাৰ লগে লগে আমি গম পাম যে median or formula যিকেইটা variable ব্যৱহাৰ হৈছে সেইকেইটাৰ value কি হ'ব। আমাৰ median or formula to এনেকুৱা আছিলে, equation 2 বুলি আমি কৈছিলো, median equal to L plus n by 2 minus CF by F into H. Yes, so what will be L? Here, what is L? L whole lower limit of the median class. অর্থাৎ A to median class আমাৰ, a median class to lower limit to কিমান? 20. So L is equal to 20. N we already know, so n by 2 is 100 by 250. What is CF? By definition amar ki asile? CF to cumulative frequency of the class preceding the median class. Orthat median class tour agor jitu shreni tare cumulative frequency tar mane A2. So 37 is the CF for the median formula. And then you have F. F is the frequency of the median class. Eto amar median class tare frequency to dia ase 27. So F is equal to 27. Our width of the median class yate ami dekhisu protektare eke width. So median class or width to whole 10. All right. Now you put these values in equation 2. Therefore, equation 2 implies median is equal to 20 plus 50 minus 37 divided by frequency amar 27 into 10. Okay, So you calculate and find these values. So this will give you 20 plus 4.81. Please do the calculations yourself, and this comes to 24.81 marks. Be very particular about the unit. Amak marks or onko disile, so it will be marks. This is the median mark. Next, calculation of mode. The next is calculation of mode. Finding the model class is the first step, and then only we shall proceed to the formula which we have already written down in equation 3. Now what is the model class? Bohulok shreni kuntu. Jitu shrenir barangbarota ortha jitu shrenir frequency sobotkoi dangor hetue hobo amar model class. So we go back to the table and you see the frequency is given. On inspection we will find that for this particular data set 27 is the highest frequency. Yes, so we shall write down here highest frequency is 27, corresponding to the class interval. The 27 to kuntu class or karne frequency hetu hol 20 to 30 eketa class, median class or nisna eketa class, corresponding to the class interval 20 to 30. Therefore model class etu likha to khub proyojon, model class equal to 20 to 30. All right. So once you know the model class, just like your median sum, you know the different notations, you know the value for the different notations used in the formula. So median class is 20 to 30. We go back to the formula, equation number 3 tami jitu modor formula likhi thoisilu, L dash buli koisilu plus Fm minus Fm minus 1 by twice Fm minus Fm plus Fm minus 1 minus Fm plus 1 into H dash buli koisilu. L likhu, H likhu, H dash likhu by L dash likhu. You should just know what it implies. Yes. So amar jihetu model class to 20 to 30, what will be L dash? L dash is the lower limit of the model class. So lower limit of the model class is 20. What is H dash? H dash is the width of the model class, that will be 10. Okay, what is Fm? Fm is the frequency of the model class, which we already know, it is 27. Then you have Fm minus 1, which represents the frequency of the class preceding the model class. Model class tour agor jitu shreni ba agor class interval tare frequency orthat 23 is our Fm minus 1. Kitaba ami hetut F0 buli kau, etuk ami F1 buli kau, aru Fm plus 1 tuk F2 buli kau. Meaning to ekei thakibo. Aru what is M plus 1? That is Fm plus 1 is frequency of the class succeeding the model class. Etu model class tar pisor class tour frequency orthat 21. So we will put these values in equation 3. We had mentioned it as equation 3. So what will be the value for mode? Z is equal to 20 plus 27 minus 23 divided by 2 into 27 minus 23 minus 21 into H. So you do the calculations, whatever value you get will be the required mode of the given distribution. Yes, this is how we calculate arithmetic mean, median and mode for a group frequency distribution. But here I will make mention of another type of distribution which might be given to you, and you should know what is the technicality in that particular distribution as regards calculation of median and mode. Dear students, do you remember we had talked about inclusive classes and exclusive classes? Yes? Inclusive classes and exclusive classes. Sometimes you will get data set in which the class intervals are given as 0 to 9, 10 to 19, yes, 20 to 29, 30 to 39, and say 40 to 49. These are inclusive classes. And exclusive classes are classes which are given as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, and so on. All right. So we have already, the sums which we have already discussed, the previous sum which we have already discussed was exclusive class data set. All right. But you might be given a class in which the classes are, you might be given a data set in which the classes are inclusive. In that case, what will you do? Just remember, in the table, everything else is same. Baki gutekhini ekei thakibo. Khali tableot ami eta extra column banabo lagibo. Jetia ami median aru mode calculate koru. Arithmetic mean or khetrot kono dhoroner change nahe. Okol jodi arithmetic mean ami uliabo goisu, tetia hole kono extra column oru dorkar nohobo. Kintu jodi median aru mode madhyama aru বহুলক যদি আমি উলিয়াব গৈছো তেতিয়া হলে কিন্তু এটা এক্সট্রা কলামৰ প্ৰয়োজন হ'ব তেতিয়া আমাৰ যেটো গিভেন ইনক্লুসিভ ক্লাস থাকে এই ক্লাস কেটাক আমি ক্লাস ইন্টারভেল বুলি কম 0 to 9 10 to 19 20 to 29 30 to 39 and say 40 to 49 ইমানখিনি যদি আমাক দিয়া আছে আমি যেতিয়া মিডিয়ান আৰু মোড উলিয়াবলৈ যাম বা মোড বা মিডিয়ান আমি মান উলিয়াব বিচাৰিম তেতিয়া আমি ক্লাস বাউন্ডাৰী বুলি এটা কলম আমি উলিয়াই লব লাগিব অৰ্থাৎ আমি ক্যালকুলেট কৰিব লাগিব and what is class boundary means we will make the classes which have a discontinuity we'll make them continuous by subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit and adding 0.5 to the upper limit, making the classes continuous. Then etu ki hobo 0 will become minus 0.5 to 9.5. We are adding 0.5 to the upper limit and subtracting 0.5 from the lower limit. Similarly, for the next class, this becomes 9.5 to 19.5. For the next class, it will be 29.5 to 39.5. Then it is 39.5 to 49.5, 49.5 to 59.5. That means what we have done, we have made the classes continuous. Continuity to break hoye asil yate, etu ami yate continuous kori lolo. Minor khetrot kono dhoroner prabhav nopore. কিন্তু মিডিয়ানৰ ক্ষেত্ৰত আমি যে লোৱাৰ লিমিট অফ দ্য মিডিয়ান লৈছিলো বা লোৱাৰ লিমিট অফ দ্য মডেল ক্লাস লৈছিলো সেই ভ্যালুটো যেতিয়া আমি পঢ়াম আমাৰ সাপোজিং এটো যদি আমাৰ মিডিয়ান ক্লাস হয় questions might arise যে a2l নে a2l yes l will be this l is not equal to 20 but sorry this is 19.5 to 29.5, 29.5 to 39.5, 39.5 to 49. So instead of you making 20 the lower limit, we will consider 19.5 to be the lower limit. Supposing this is the model class, it was the model class amar hoy, titia hale ami 32 kami L dash ba lower limit of the model class boli noloy, ami 29.5 ok ami lower limit of the model class boli kom. This is an important point you should remember while calculating median and mode in case of inclusive class intervals given to us. Alright, and then another type of sum. For the following data, calculate arithmetic mean, median and mode. Okay, so in such kind of data it will be given like this: marks less than and number of students. All right, marks less than and then number of students are given to you. Marks are 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. All right, and number of students are given as 15, 35, 60, 84, 96, 100. All right, so you just look into the data set and see what is the difference between the ones we have already discussed and this sum. In the previous sum, marks were given, yes, and the class intervals were given as 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and here it is mentioned as number of students. There also it was written as number of students. It a difference to ki, yes, difference to whole je yate less than boli eta shobdo ase. অর্থাৎ আমি যেতিয়া পঢ়িম প্ৰত্যেকবাৰ তাৰমানে এটো মার্কস less than 10, less than 20, less than 30, less than 40, less than 50, less than 60, implying this is not a frequency distribution given to us but a cumulative frequency distribution given to us. এইবোৰ যে দিয়া আছে এইবোৰ আমাৰ cumulative frequency দিয়া আছে. Less than type, these are nothing but less than type cumulative frequency given. So from the cumulative frequencies we have to find out the frequencies and then the procedure will remain the same. Alright, so while making the table, sometimes, okay, before going to the table, one more thing. Again, sometimes you might be given like this: marks more than. Instead of less than, it might be written more than, and then you have number of students. Okay, and then it is given, it's the same thing. The number of students here refer to the more than type cumulative frequencies. They are not the frequencies but the more than type cumulative frequencies given. So in that case also you have to convert the cumulative frequency distribution table into a frequency distribution table. That means you have to calculate the frequencies for each class and then proceed in the same way as the previous sums. So just see what we do. So while writing the table, while making the table, we will not write as more than or less than, but we will just write it as a class interval, and we have seen the difference was 10. So it was first part, in the first part it was written less than 10, so we will consider it to be 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50 and 50 to 60. Okay, and then cumulative frequencies were given. Those we will write down now. This is 15, this is 35, then you have 60, 84, 96 and 100. All right. So our work, this is given to us, our work will be to find out the frequencies first. To find the frequency, the first frequency is 15 itself. What will be the second frequency? It is actually the sum total of the first and the second. So it is 35 minus 15, which will be 20. All right. How do you find out the third frequency? Third frequency is given to be 60. 60 minus sum of the first two is 35. So 60 minus 35 will give you 25. Okay. Then you go to the next one, 84. So 84 minus 60, yes, up to here is 60. So this will give you 24. The next is 96 minus 84 will give you 12. All right. And then 100 minus 96 will give you 4. If you add up, 15 plus 20 is 35, 35 plus 25 is 60, 60 plus 24 is 84, 84 plus 12 is 96, 96 plus 4 is 100. So these are the frequencies we have found out, all right, while doing the sum. Otherwise everything else will be same. While doing the sum, we have to consider these as frequencies. These are the cumulative frequencies only. Similarly, when you are given a more than type cumulative frequency, what you have to do is you have to calculate the frequencies from the more than type cumulative frequencies given to you by subtracting from below, and then you have to follow the procedure which you have already learned in your previous sums. All right. Sometimes again a question might come like this: calculate arithmetic mean and median. Okay, calculate arithmetic mean and median, and hence calculate mode using empirical relation. Or they might give you calculate median and mode and hence calculate AM. Or they might give you calculate arithmetic mean and mode and hence calculate median. Then what we do, from the formula we will find out AM and we will find out median, and then we shall make use of the empirical relation. If you remember, what was the empirical relation? Mean minus mode is equal to thrice mean minus median. So when you know any two values, you can find the third value. All right. So with this arithmetic mean, median and mode, there are various types of problems which you might get is almost over. One thing that is left for discussion is correcting incorrect mean, which we shall try to discuss in the next class. So till then, dear students, please take up some sums from different question papers, from your textbooks, and then try to solve them on your own so that you know the problems that you might face while calculating. তোমালোকে ঘৰত সকলোৱে ট্ৰাই কৰিবা আৰু আমি পুনৰবাৰ লগ পোৱা আশাৰে এইখিনিতে আমি আজিৰ এই ক্লাছটো সামৰণি মাৰিলো আৰু প্ৰেক্টিছ নকৰিলে কিন্তু এই কথাবোৰ আমি পাহৰি যাম। ফৰ্মুলা প্ৰেক্টিছ লগতে অংক কেনেকৈ কৰিব লাগে তাৰে প্ৰেক্টিছ আমি কৰি থাকিব লাগিব। ইয়াৰ লগতে আমি ক্লাছটো শেষ কৰিলোঁ। ধন্যবাদ।